Another month goes by, and yet another rumor about a Wladimir Klitschko comeback. This time they got some quotes from, is it Dr. Iron Fist or Steel Hammer? I always forget, because one of them, I'm talking about the Klitschko brothers here, one of them is Iron Fist and the other one is Steel Hammer. So, yeah, Klitschko said, and he told Business Insider, "I still got it. Can I fight? Yes. Right now I keep my options open. There is going to be no comeback to come back and break a jaw. It's a comeback to break a record. Is it appealing? I would say, yeah, it's pretty cool. George Foreman did it. He was 45, I believe, when he became champion, and that's a pretty cool statement." And, of course, we know in the past, Klitschko has been linked with a possible DAZN deal. So they're quoting Eddie Hearn here, saying that DAZN have spoken to Klitschko and we'd love to get Klitschko back in the ring, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, Klitschko is how old now? Is he 42, 43? Okay, he's 43. So if he wanted to break George Foreman's record, how old was Foreman? 46, wasn't he? 45. I'm sure Foreman was 46 when he beat Michael Mora. Any of you want to go check on Wikipedia, you can do it now, or on BoxRec, but I'm sure Foreman was 46, not 45. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was 45. But if Klitschko was to try and break that record, I guess by a few days, then he would probably need to come back in 2020. Because he's going to be 44 in 2020. It might take a couple years in order to maneuver himself into a position where he can get a crack at one of the belts. And you don't just want to jump back in when you've been out the ring for several years in a top fight when you're Klitschko's age. Particularly when you've suffered knockout defeats in the past. In fact, your last fight was a knockout defeat. You don't want to jump right back in there at the top. You want to ease your way into it, test the waters, see where you're at, and take it from there. And of course, he's going to need to be very strategic if he does decide to come back and go for Foreman's record in terms of which champion he picks. So I'm sure if he's serious about trying to break Foreman's record, he's looking at the lay of the land, he's seeing where all the different belts go, and then maybe he'll try to take it from there. Perhaps he'll come out of retirement if Alexander Usyk is able to pick up one of the belts, like the WBO belt. Because although Usyk apparently gave him hell in sparring, Usyk is a smaller guy. He's going to use movement. It might not be a brutal fight for Klitschko, and maybe over the course of 12 rounds with big gloves, Klitschko feels like he'll be able to get to Usyk. You know? Whereas if he's going in there with an AJ again, or an Andy Ruiz, a Wilder, a Fury, it might be more of a physically taxing fight than an Usyk fight. So, I don't know. Going to be interesting to see where it goes. Obviously, I would advise Wladimir Klitschko not to do it, but why the hell should he listen to me? He's achieved far more than most boxers will ever achieve. And you don't get to that level that Klitschko's been at by listening to naysayers, by listening to doubters, by listening to people who are thinking, oh no, you'll get hurt if you do that. You don't achieve the great things he's achieved by doing that. You achieve what he's achieved by believing in yourself and listening to your inner voice. Now, of course, that inner voice in latter life can start to betray you. It can start to tell you that you can still do it when your body actually can't. Will that be the case with Klitschko? We'll see. If there was a time for somebody to break George Foreman's record, there's probably no better time than now. Because heavyweights today seem to have more longevity than they did in years gone by. Yeah? I mean, I'm not saying you're going to be in your prime when you're 40 plus. You're obviously not. But there's a lot more heavyweights in their late 30s, early 40s who are still, contenders in the top 10 than there was in yesteryear. Klitschko keeps himself in great shape. He didn't take a lot of punishment throughout his career. Yeah, there was a few fights, like his losses, where he took some punishment. the Ross Purity loss, the Corey Sanders loss, although that was a short fight. And even against Ross Purity, he didn't take that much punishment until the very end. Corey Sanders was a short fight. The first Brewster fight was probably one of the most punishing fights. Did take a decent amount of punishment there. And obviously the AJ fight, he might have taken the most punishment in the AJ fight. Didn't really take much punishment in the Fury fight, truth be told. So, not that many miles on the clock in terms of the punishment he's taken to the head. But of course, the body, can it take the training camps again? We'll see. That's if Wladimir Klitschko actually decides to return to the ring. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Is this a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Yeah, let me know, people. It's happening. I'm out.